To really wonder if it's possible for somebody to have the power, the ability to do magic, you really have to look at the human brain. Like we're constantly bombarded with information and thoughts, and there's so much going on in our lives, even in our houses. Not even talking about the TV, the stereo, games and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many different patterns on the walls and on the floors. It's like there's so much like constantly, and you might not even be thinking about it, but when you're just like turning your head, looking around, that's like information pouring into your brain, whether you even realize it or not. It's like it's just a normal function. It's like the heart beats on its own. Like you don't control the heartbeat. It's like your mind too. You really don't control it 100%. Like you're just absorbing. Every time you look, you're absorbing information. So magic, if it has something to do at all with the mind, then you can see why most people would have trouble with that. But go back in time, you know, ancient times, when people had no such information constantly bombarding them. Life was like, I guess you could say, more boring than anything else. I mean, maybe under those circumstances, people could have more control over their minds and like certain abilities, what we call magic today, you know? It's not so preposterous to really think about that. People that do have powers, maybe their brains are just bigger than the average person. They're able to concentrate, or maybe the arts were passed on from generation to generation, magic. I don't know. But they'd be wise enough, perhaps, not to share their gift with anybody. Like, use it for your own gains, maybe, but you really would be wise not to tell nobody. Because what has history shown us about people who just even allegedly had special powers or gifts of some kind, even if it wasn't true? These people allegedly had powers, right? Look what they did to the witches, right? Oh, I saw her look at a tree, and then the next day the tree fell. Burn her, She has powers, kill her. Jesus claimed to be the Son of God, right? Walks amongst us. Where did that get him? You see? How society treats people that are different and special, even if they don't know for 100% fact, if it's true. They'll kill you, man. So anybody that has true magic powers is probably well aware of that. They're keeping their mouth shut. They do what they do, but they don't tell nobody. That's the way I look at it. And look at society, too. What do they do to society? Well, as you know, the war on drugs in America is pretty much a joke. I mean, there's no real war on drugs. They make it look like they're gaining ground, but it's a joke. I could take you to every drug spot I've known about since I'm a child, Well, a teenager at least. They're still open. I mean, the prisons are loaded with drugs. Drugs everywhere. Guns on the street, right? They make it so easy to, like, flood the minds of children with the most horrible things we could think of. When I was a little kid, I'm only 42, getting a hold of, like, a Playboy or a Hustler or something was like, oh my God, it was like, the holy grail to find, as a child. But now, oh my God. These kids are exposed to like really everything. And it's like, it's almost too much. But ask yourself, is it just commerce, like a way to make money, and they really can't control these things they invent, Dad, what are you going to do? People want to watch TV. It's up to the parents to, delegate what the kids watch. And the computer, put blocks on channels and stuff. Or is it like more sinister, where the powers that be long ago, they realize that these arts are true, that not maybe everybody can do it, but there are some among us that maybe have such powers. And all these things, all these distractions, are just a way of keeping us down, You can equate this, what I'm saying, with not even magic, just life in general, man. It's like, as long as they're shoving drugs in your face and let you get laid everywhere, legalize prostitution in some states, eventually it'll be everywhere, I'm sure. But as long as you have all these distractions, maybe you won't question the powers that be. You'd be more like a sheep or something. Give them everything they want, man. Just keep these assholes down. It's funny too, because all these behaviors we're talking about and all these things, I bet it doesn't go on in the rich schools, Like these kids running amok in these public school systems, man. Bringing guns to school, shooting teachers and kids and shit. Because the powers that be, their kids are going to be the powers that be one day. I don't know. Yeah, there's a YouTube user. I think it's pronounced the Yoppage. Yeah, the Yoppage. I'll write it down here. We were going back and forth, and somehow we got on the subject of faith. And he didn't seem to put too much merit into faith. But in what context did he mean exactly? Like all faith? Like we have to like... I really didn't understand what his point was. Like faith does exist, you know, just like gravity exists and we can't see it. Faith is something that exists that we can't see. It's just like a feeling or something. Like when you get married and you know, in a civil union or church or whatever, you have faith that your girlfriend or your husband, whatever the case may be, is going to be faithful to you. They're not going to cheat on you or play you dirty. Now you have no idea of knowing that for sure. There's no factual evidence to back that up. You have faith in your spouse that they're going to be true to you and you alone. That's faith. When you sit on a chair, you might have faith, you know, that it's not going to break and you're going to fall on your ass, right? But then again, if you had a whole set of chairs and one of them you sat on and broke, maybe you might lose your faith when sitting on the other ones, because you'll be saying to yourself, are these all rickety pieces of shit? You know, you lose your faith in that object because one failed you. Now, combining these two topics, magic and faith, think about that. You can make the argument that, well, some people do make the argument that religion is a way to control the masses. It seems that way. I mean, we keep us in check to a degree, you know. But you can make the argument, too, that everything we have in life is a way to keep us in check from the powers that be. Religion is just one of the things. But I think as human beings, we should all really start waking up to everything, man. Like, some people don't want to believe in faith. I guess, like I said, because it's associated with maybe religious or something, religion or something. So, you know, that's just a stupid word. You know, these people want hard evidence, proof of stuff, not faith. You know, that's not really a truth, a faith. But think about it. In this country, didn't we just elect the president in on faith? Pretty much faith alone. I mean, Barack Obama, I mean, you can say what you want. I'm lying or I'm telling the truth, but I think you will agree that the man had absolutely like no experience whatsoever, and people voted him in on faith. I wonder what those people are thinking now. You know, the old people that aren't going to get their Social Security raised this year for the first time, I think, since they started the Social Security program. All those women that voted for Obama with his great universal health care, and now they can't even get their breasts examined. You know, I thought prevention was the ultimate, you know, cure. Now I guess maybe these new doctors, they know better. You know. You know, it's funny too. It's like throwing God into this mix. It's like a lot of people, God killed, you know, men, women, and children. And that is a horrible part of the Bible. I mean, he allowed humans to kill men, and he killed them himself with like meteors and firestorms from the sky, you know. Flooded the whole earth. I mean, killed everybody that was on here, right? But think about that. The same people that make the argument that God is wicked, even though they don't believe he exists, but somehow this thing they don't believe in is wicked. Some of these same people, they kill their own babies with abortions, and not even abortions. You read in the paper all the day, oh, mysteriously a child falls out a window. You know, oh, mysteriously the stroller rolled in front of a train. You wonder, man. You wonder. But in closing, I just want to say this. Have faith. If not in anything else, have faith in yourself, you and yours, your family. And really ask yourself, like the same way you might think religious people are stupid because, you know, they swallow that whole story, you know. They waste all their time concentrating and going to church and thinking about this God that doesn't exist. I mean, but think about how you, even if you're not a religious person, the ways that you're suckered into wasting your time, you know, and really not thinking about the things that are important in this world, you know. Like watching this video right now, I'm sure you could be doing something way better than watching me, you know, but I appreciate it. But you see my point. Are we all really bamboozled, you know? Is the magic gone from us? Have we allowed it ourselves, man, to be like turtles, like forced to have our head in our shells, you know? And they allow us to see some things, but not everything. Everybody out there, have a real nice Thanksgiving, okay? Make sure you eat plenty of stuffing.